Listen closely. Because this is one of the most shocking and emotional stories you will hear from Lagos. Love could pay rent. Namdi and Ada would be landlords in Lekki by now. A young couple, deeply in love, with big dreams and soft hearts. Saved every naira they had. Every kobo. Every late night hustle. Every sacrifice. All for one day. Not a house. Not a business. Not their future. A wedding. A wedding so grand, the city talked about it. The hall, the decor, the convoy, the outfits, pure prestige. People clapped. Cameras flashed. Hashtags trended. They looked like royalty. But when the celebration ended, when the music faded, and the last congratulations disappeared, all that was left was this one truth. They had spent their entire life savings, on a single day. And what came after? No one in that hall could have imagined. Because on that Saturday afternoon, under the chandeliers of the Grand Hall at Oriental Hotel, their love looked like money itself. Ada walked in like the queen of a Nollywood dream. The dress was imported from Turkey. Lace so fine, it shimmered under the camera lights. Her makeup artist had flown in from Abuja the night before. The air smelled of vanilla candles and expensive perfume. The MC shouted into the mic, "Ladies and gentlemen, the couple that shut down Lagos, Mr. and Mrs. Okafor." The crowd screamed. Phones went up. Instagram Live, Snapchat, TikTok. The DJ dropped Burna Boy's Big 7, and Namdi lifted Ada like he had just won the World Cup. They were 28 and 26. Ambitious. Beautiful. Crazy in love. But what nobody knew that day was that their wedding cost 18 million Nigerian nairas. And their combined savings? Barely 400,000 Nigerian nairas. It started small, like every Lagos love story that spiraled out of control. Namdi had proposed at the View by Cilantro, kneeling under fairy lights and roses. Ada screamed yes, and within weeks, hashtags appeared. Hashtag Namda Forever, hashtag Lagos Royal Wedding. Her friends went wild. Vendors cold. Instagram planners pitched packages with words like luxury, statement, and forever memories. Namdi worked as a mid-level tech analyst. Ada ran a small online clothing store. Both had decent earnings. Nothing crazy, but enough to dream. Except Lagos weddings don't respect logic. One evening, while eating suya and soft drinks at Freedom Park, Ada said, "Babe, I don't want an ordinary wedding. I want people to talk about it." Namdi smiled. "They'll talk, even if we wear jeans." She frowned. "I'm serious. I want a wedding that feels like our movie." And that was it. One line, our movie, turned into a 18 million Nigerian nairas production. By February, the wedding committee had been formed, with Ada's cousins as chief planners. Someone suggested a hall in Lekki Phase 1. Another added a live band. Then came pre-wedding shoots in Ibadan Hills. Then designer outfits, makeup teams, champagne fountains, and 300 guests. Every week, something new entered the budget. "Babe, we can always make it back," Ada said. Namdi nodded, because men in love often believe optimism counts as planning. He took a small loan from a friend. Ada maxed out her business card. They both agreed not to tell anyone. The wedding was Lagos at its loudest, a festival of gold chairs, glitter and glory. When Ada danced in with her bridesmaids, even strangers cried. When Namdi gave his vow, voice trembling, eyes wet, Ada's mother whispered, "He's a good man." Food overflowed. Champagne popped. Guests danced till midnight. That night, Ada posted a video on Instagram. "The happiest day of my life. We did it. God did it. Hashtag Namda Forever ring sparkles." It got 45,000 views in one day. But the bills also started rolling in. Decorators, hall, drinks, catering, photography, car rentals. By the honeymoon's end, their accounts were empty. Still, Ada told herself, "We'll figure it out. Love will sustain us." Reality didn't wait long. By the third month, rent was due. Their two-bedroom apartment in Chevron Drive cost 2.3 million Nigerian nairas a year. Namdi's salary was delayed. Ada's customers slowed down. The loan repayments started to call. One night, as they sat eating gari in silence, Ada asked quietly, "Do you regret the wedding?" Namdi looked up. Never. But I regret the math. The first fight came the next week. She blamed him for not saving enough. He blamed her for insisting on the haul. Tears. Silence. Then laughter, the kind people use to hide fear. By August, they couldn't keep up. The landlord's text was blunt: "If I no see payment by month end, pack your things." They tried to borrow again. Nobody answered calls. Family said, "You people just did big wedding, ABI?" In September, they moved into a single room in Igbita. No AC, no marble floors, no scented candles. Just a mattress, a small fan, and a promise to try again. Ada cried the first night. Namdi held her, whispering, "It's okay. From here we build." Ada started selling her wedding shoes online. She took old thrift clothes from friends, cleaned them, and resold on Instagram. Namdi joined in, taking photos, managing orders, learning delivery routes. They called the page thrift_love_NG. At first, it was embarrassing. Ada hated the pity messages. The big bride now sells okrika. But they kept at it. One sale turned into 5. Then 20. Then a brand. By December they could pay rent, for that one small room, but it felt like a palace again. On Christmas Eve, Ada received a DM from a customer who said, "I love your page. Can I send bulk clothes for you to resell?" That DM changed everything. The customer turned out to be a UK-based thrift supplier. Ada convinced her to give her clothes on credit, and promised to pay back after sales. They started posting more content: couple-style thrift videos, comedy skits, outfit transformations. Within months, followers grew from 200 to 12,000. One evening, as they packed deliveries, Ada looked at Namdi and smiled. "See? We're building again." He grinned. "I told you, we're still the movie, just a different scene." They didn't know it yet, but the next scene was going to test everything they had rebuilt. Because success was coming, fast, loud, and dangerous. It was a random Saturday when Ada got a message from an event planner she used to know. "Hi Ada, I saw your thrift page. We're styling a celebrity wedding. Would you like to provide vintage outfits for the shoot?" Ada froze. The client's name? Chioma Uche, her old best friend. The one who mocked her for falling off after marriage. And the groom? Ada's ex-boyfriend. If rock bottom was a place, Ada and Namdi had already bought land there. But slowly, quietly, they were building their way out. By early 2022, thrift_love_NG had become a modest success. Every evening, their single room was a mini warehouse. Clothes folded in nylon bags, ring lights standing by the wall, a small whiteboard scribbled with delivery names: Amaka, 2 gowns, Bayo, 1 shirt, Esther jeans. Their followers had grown to nearly 20,000. It wasn't money yet, but it was movement, real hard-earned progress. Ada smiled more often now. Namdi was finally proud again. Then one afternoon, while checking DMs, Ada saw that name. Chioma Uche. Her heart paused. Chioma had been Ada's best friend in university. They shared hostel food, gossiped about lecturers, even cried together over breakups. But after graduation, their paths split. Chioma joined a PR agency and started dating Ada's ex, Tobe, the one who once swore Ada was his forever. When Chioma and Tobe got engaged, Ada didn't attend the wedding. Not because she hated them, but because she couldn't handle watching someone else live the life she used to dream about. Now, 2 years later, the same Chioma was in her DMs. "Hi Ada. I saw your thrift page. We're styling a celebrity wedding shoot. Can you provide vintage outfits for the bridesmaids? It's paid, of course." Ada stared at the message for a long time. Was this karma? A test? A setup? She didn't know, but she replied anyway. "Sure. Let's talk." The meeting was at a photo studio in Lekki, the same area Ada once left in shame with her boxes. Now she was returning, carrying thrift bags instead of designer purses. When she walked in, she saw Chioma immediately, radiant in a silk blouse, new iPhone in hand. She looked expensive. Effortlessly so. Chioma's eyes widened when she saw Ada. "Ada. My God. Look at you. You look so different." Ada smiled politely. "Good different or bad different, Chioma laughed. Good, of course. You're glowing. I've been following your page. Girl, you're really hustling. I'm proud. The word hustling stung, but Ada held her grace. They talked business, agreed on a 150,000 Nigerian nairas payment, and set delivery dates. But as Ada was leaving, a voice from behind called, Ada. She turned. And there he was. Tobe. Still tall, still smooth, still dangerous. But older now, in a clean kaftan, with that same half-smile that used to melt her. For a second, time stopped. Wow, he said, stepping closer. It's been years. How are you? Ada forced a smile. Good. Married. Working. Alive. He laughed. Still sharp-tongued. I see marriage didn't change that. She looked away. You're married too. Congratulations. Yeah, he said, Chioma's a handful. But you know me, I like drama. They both laughed awkwardly. Then silence. I saw your wedding online back then, Tobe said. It was grand. Ada replied softly, it was foolish. That honesty caught him off guard. He nodded slowly. Still, you always had vision. I'm glad you're okay. As she walked out of that studio, Ada realized something. For the first time, she didn't feel pain. Just peace. But peace didn't mean life was done testing her. 2 weeks later, Chioma called again. Ada. The shoot went viral. People love your thrift pieces. Are you open to styling for brands? Because I just got a request for a campaign. That one campaign turned into another. Then influencer collabs. Then online thrift tutorials. By mid-year, Ada and Namdi had outgrown their one-room apartment. They moved to a mini-flat, small, but decent. Namdi quit his job to handle logistics full-time. They invested in packaging, branding, and content. Their motto became, style shouldn't be expensive. It should be smart. And the audience loved it. Soon, they started earning from ads, shout-outs, and thrift sourcing. Their monthly revenue crossed 1 million Nigerian nairas. Ada began dreaming again, but this time, the dreams had spreadsheets. With growth came chaos. Ada worked late, chasing deliveries, replying to DMs, negotiating suppliers. Namdi handled orders but started feeling sidelined. Sometimes he'd joke, Madam CEO, don't forget your logistics manager, oh. But beneath the jokes, his pride was cracking. Ada was everywhere, on podcasts, thrift fairs, Instagram lives. People loved her story, from broke bride to businesswoman. Then one night, after another long day, Namdi said quietly, do you ever think maybe, you're too busy for us? Ada froze. What do you mean? I mean, we started this together. But lately, it feels like it's your brand, not ours. She sighed. You think I enjoy all this stress? I'm doing it for us, Namdi. He nodded slowly. Yeah, I know. But I miss you. That night, they didn't sleep back-to-back like before. They faced opposite walls, both awake, both scared to admit the distance creeping in. Weeks later, Ada got a call from Chioma again. This time, it wasn't about a shoot. It was about a partnership deal. Ada, there's a fashion accelerator program. They're funding small businesses. 5 million Nigerian nairas grant for scale-up. You should apply. I can recommend you. Ada's heart raced. 5 million Nigerian nairas could change everything, a proper store, inventory, staff. But there was a catch. The sponsor was Tobe's new company. When she told Namdi, he frowned. You want to take money from your ex? It's not personal, babe. It's business. Business that started with heartbreak. Ada bit her lip. Please don't make this about ego. He looked at her for a long time and said, if you say yes, make sure it's worth the piece you'll lose. A month later, they were invited to pitch at a fashion networking event, Rising Creators of Lagos. Ada dressed in her best thrift jacket, heels scuffed but heart steady. Namdi came along, silent but supportive. When they arrived, the hall was full of cameras, lights, and Lagos elites. Chioma waved them over, all smiles. And there, at the VIP section, sat Tobe, confident as ever. During Ada's pitch, She spoke with passion. We started Thrift Love from one room. We believe love and fashion don't need luxury to thrive, just consistency. Our goal is to make second-hand clothes feel like first choice again. The crowd applauded. Tobe clapped the loudest. Later, during networking, he approached them. Namdi, my guy. You married well. Ada's a star. Namdi forced a smile. Thanks. Tobe added, business aside, I respect your story. People need to hear it. Namdi just nodded. But his silence that night in the car was thunderous. Weeks passed. Ada won the grant. 5 million Nigerian nairas. It should have been joy. But it felt like walking on eggshells. Namdi barely spoke. He handled logistics like a robot. Ada tried to celebrate, to share plans. He just nodded. Then one night, during dinner, he finally snapped. You know what hurts the most? It's not the money. It's that you don't see how it changes things. Changes what? You. Us. This isn't the Ada I married. You used to dream with me. Now you dream without me. Ada stood, tears forming. You think I wanted to outgrow you? I've been carrying both of us for years. Silence. Then Namdi said, barely whispering, maybe that's the problem. She stormed out of the room. That night, they slept apart for the first time. Not just in bed, in heart. The next week, a blog posted an article titled, Meet Ada Okafor, the thrift queen Lagos can't stop talking about. It went viral. But instead of joy, it brought gossip and jealousy. Old friends resurfaced. Strangers sent hate comments. People speculated that Tobe was secretly funding her. Namdi saw the comments and exploded. So that's what people think now? That you're sleeping your way to success. Ada cried. Why are you listening to noise? Because the noise is getting louder than us. The argument ended with slammed doors. The next morning, Ada woke up, and Namdi was gone. His phone off. His clothes missing. On the table, he left a note. I need to find myself again before I lose everything I love. Don't look for me. For days, Ada didn't eat. Didn't work. Didn't post. The world thought she was busy building her brand, but she was breaking inside. Then one evening, while scrolling aimlessly, she saw a viral video. A motivational speaker was on stage, saying, Marriage isn't the end of love, it's the beginning of work. The camera panned, and Ada froze. The speaker was Namdi. He looked different, confident, calm, dressed in a black turtleneck. The caption read, Namdi Okafor, co-founder of LoveWorks Africa, speaks on rebuilding after failure. Ada's hands trembled. He was alive, thriving, but without her. Tears streamed down her face. The irony was cruel. The man she built with was now teaching others how to rebuild. And she didn't know whether to be proud or shattered. If love was a business, Namdi and Ada had once filed for bankruptcy. But some businesses, like some hearts, find a way to reopen. It had been 8 months since Namdi left. 8 long months of unreturned calls, unsent messages, and unspoken apologies. Ada had tried everything, visiting his friends, calling his office, even messaging his mother. No one said much. All she knew was, he was somewhere in Abuja, doing something about relationships. Meanwhile, ThriftLove_NG had exploded. They hit 100K followers. Brands were sending PR boxes. Ada was on radio, giving interviews about entrepreneurship and self-belief. But each time the camera lights went off, her room went dark again. One night, while scrolling TikTok, she stumbled on a viral clip, Namdi, standing on a stage, microphone in hand, talking about building love after breaking down. He looked radiant. Whole. He spoke with the calm of a man who'd been through fire and came out gold. And then he said it. Sometimes, God separates you from what you love, so you can learn how to love again. Ada dropped her phone and cried till her eyes burned. He wasn't angry. He wasn't bitter. He was healing. Without her. 3 weeks later, Ada got an email from a Lagos event organizer. Dear Mrs. Okafor, we'd love for you to speak at our annual Couple Summit, LoveWorks 2025. Topic: Building Financial Partnership in Marriage. Guest speakers include Pastor Dare, Dr. Uma, and Mr. Namdi Okafor. She read it twice. Then a third time. Her heart pounded. This was it. The universe, or maybe God, had arranged their reunion. She stared at her reflection in the mirror and whispered, "Okay, Ada. No tears this time. You show up. You speak. You stand tall." The Loveworks Summit was held at the Civic Center, Lagos. Ironically, the same venue they had once visited to pick wedding decor. Ada arrived early, dressed in a cream blazer, gold hoops, and calm confidence. Her brand had matured her. She looked like someone who'd wrestled storms and won. Backstage, she heard his voice before she saw him. Namdi was speaking to organizers, laughing softly, radiating peace. When he turned, their eyes met, and the world paused. He froze. She smiled, small, cautious, human. "Hi," she said. "Hi," he whispered. It wasn't a movie moment. No dramatic music. No hug. Just two people who'd loved, lost, and learned too much to pretend they hadn't changed. They ended up seated side by side during the couples panel. The host smiled mischievously. "So Mr. and Mrs. Okafor, rumor has it you two have quite the story." The audience laughed softly. Ada smiled. Namdi chuckled. The host continued, "Let's start with this. What's the most expensive mistake couples make after marriage?" Ada took the mic first. Trying to impress the world instead of investing in each other. Applause. Then Namdi added, "Thinking love alone can manage a budget." More laughter. Their eyes met again, just briefly, but it was electric. Years of regret, pain, forgiveness, and understanding passed between them in that one glance. The host grinned. "Looks like both of you speak from experience." Ada said softly, "Yes. But experience is a good teacher, if you survive the class." After the event, Ada lingered near the car park, unsure if she should stay or walk away. Then she heard his voice behind her. "You spoke well." She turned. "You too. You've become different." He smiled faintly. "I had to. I needed to rebuild, from the inside." She nodded. "I thought I'd lost you forever." He looked down. "You almost did." Silence. Lagos traffic hummed in the background. Then he said quietly, "I watched your growth online. You did everything we dreamed of. I'm proud of you." She swallowed hard. "I wish we did it together." He sighed. "Maybe we weren't ready. We were busy trying to look married instead of being married." Tears welled in her eyes. "Can we ever try again?" she whispered. Namdi paused. Long enough for her to regret asking. Then he said, "Maybe. But not as who we were, as who we've become." They began talking again. Slowly. Carefully. No grand gestures. Just coffee meetups, random check-ins, business chats. They collaborated on an online series, Loveworks, building together, even when it breaks. It went viral. Couples began messaging them for advice. Podcasts invited them. Churches booked them. They never confirmed if they were back together. They just showed up, two healed halves, learning to build a whole again. But behind the smiles, there was one last test waiting. Their online show caught the attention of a lifestyle investor. He offered 20 million Nigerian nairas to expand it into a reality series. Only condition? They had to act like a couple, full-time. Ada hesitated. "This could change everything," she said. Namdi looked at her. "Or destroy everything again." He wasn't wrong. Pretending to be what they used to be could blur lines they'd fought to define. After days of prayer and pacing, Namdi made his decision. "No. We'll grow slow this time. Real love isn't for show." Ada smiled through tears. "That's the man I married." He smiled back. "And that's the woman I lost, but maybe found again." They turned down the deal. Instead, they started hosting small private sessions. After the wedding, reality begins. No cameras. No luxury. Just truth. Their first seminar was held in a rented hall in Surulere. Only 15 couples showed up. Namdi stood at the mic and said, "When we got married, we thought love would feed us. But we learned that love only cooks, it's discipline that buys ingredients." The crowd laughed. Ada continued, "We lost everything once. Money, comfort, pride, but not purpose. Purpose kept us alive when love was too tired to speak." By the end, people were crying. Couples held hands. Someone whispered, "They're real." And that's what made it work. Their story wasn't fairy tale love. It was survival love. Months later, Ada and Namdi stood in front of their new office sign, Love Works Africa, marriage, money, and mindset coaching. From broke newlyweds in Igbita to partners teaching others how not to repeat their mistakes. Ada smiled. "Can you believe this? From a one-room apartment to this." Namdi laughed. All it took was bankruptcy, heartbreak, and therapy. She laughed too. Small price for peace. He reached out and held her hand. No rings, no crowd, no cameras, just quiet understanding. "Maybe," he said softly, "we were never meant to have a perfect love. Just a real one." Ada nodded. "And that's enough." That night, after their first successful seminar tour, they drove past Oriental Hotel, the same hall where their flamboyant wedding had once begun their downfall. Ada stared out the window. "You ever think about that day?" Namdi smiled. "Every time I pay for fuel." They both burst into laughter, the kind that comes from shared scars. She whispered, "If we could do it all over again." He cut in gently, "I'd still marry you. Just not at Oriental." The car filled with quiet laughter and soft music. As they drove into the Lagos night, older, wiser, gentler, a billboard came into view. Loveworks Africa presents, After the Wedding, Reality Begins. With Namdi and Ada Okafor, From Broke to Built. Ada smiled. "We made it." Namdi nodded. "We built it." And as the city lights blurred through the windshield, it was clear. They didn't win because they were rich again. They won because they had learned what riches really meant. Love is not proof you can spend big. It's proof you can survive small. The wedding is just a day. Marriage is the lifetime after the music stops. Ada and Namdi learned it the hard way, that love is sweeter when built, not borrowed.